Last lesson we looked at graphing linear relationships on a Cartesian plane by finding pairs of values and then finding the line that joined those. Now, because it's a linear relationship, we actually only need 2 points, so we don't have to find all of the tables of values. We can graph that line using any 2 points on that line and joining them together. So what we're going to do today is look at graphing straight lines just using intercept values. Intercept values refers to the points where the line will meet the y-axis, somewhere up and down here, and a second point somewhere where it will meet the x-axis. Now the reason we use those is because we know that this line here is where x is equal to 0. Okay, you can see this center point here is 0, and all the way up that y-axis x is going to remain at 0. And if we substitute into this equation over here, this is going to be my example, y is equal to 0 plus 5, then we get a value for y being 5. And so we know that one of our points is going to be x equal to 0 and y equal to 5. So where x equals 0 and y equals 5 is going to be this point here. And that's our y-intercept for our straight line. And then what we can do is we can say, okay, well, now we've got an x-axis, and all the way along this x-axis, we know that y is equal to 0. And so this value here, the x-intercept, is going to be the point where y equals 0. And so what we can do is come back to our equation over here and say, okay, well, if y is equal to 0, then this left-hand side would equal 0, and that's going to be equal to x plus 5. And by using some algebra, we can say, well, we want to find out the value of x. And so what we could do is say, okay, well, in order to get rid of the 5, just like we did in algebra, from the right-hand side, we would have to subtract 5, and that's going to put minus 5 here and minus 5 on the left-hand side. And so we're going to get minus 5 being equal to our x value when y is equal to 0. And so that means that we're able to know that here, where y is equal to 0, our x value is going to be minus 5. And so we've now got 2 points. And so what we can simply do is take our ruler, and if we line up those 2 points and draw our line straight through those 2 points, then we've got our line which represents y being equal to x plus 5. Now remember that this line goes on forever in both directions, so we should put an arrow just like our axes go on forever in both directions. Our x-axis and our y-axis, we've got arrows to represent that. This line, y is equal to x plus 5, also goes on forever. And so we can graph our straight line linear relationship just by finding the values for the intercepts.